Imagine Europe in the 1980s. Engines roaring, the smell of gasoline in the air, and mountain roads turning into battlegrounds for speed. And then, out of nowhere, a car appears that changes everything. That car is the Audi Quattro. And what it did wasn't just win races, it redefined what a sports car could be, both on the road and in the world of rally. It all began in 1980, when Audi introduced the UR Quattro, or as enthusiasts call it today, the original Quattro. UR in German means first or original, and the name couldn't have been more appropriate. It was the first production car in history with permanent all-wheel drive designed specifically for the road. Before the Quattro, all-wheel drive was something you'd only find in off-road vehicles or military trucks. Nobody thought it could make a sports car faster. But Audi was about to prove everyone wrong. The Audi Quattro made its debut at the 1980 Geneva Motor Show, and it immediately stole the spotlight. Under its hood was a 2.1-liter turbocharged inline-5 engine producing around 200 horsepower. Impressive numbers for the time. But what truly set it apart wasn't the engine. It was what lay underneath. The Quattro's all-wheel drive system was revolutionary. It used 3 mechanical differentials, one at the front, one at the rear, and one in the center. And the most innovative part was that both the center and rear differentials could be locked manually from the center console. Under normal driving conditions, the torque was split evenly, 50% to the front and 50% to the rear. But if one wheel started to slip, the driver could pull a lever and lock the center differential, forcing equal torque distribution and guaranteeing traction on snow, mud, or ice. And if things got even trickier, you could also lock the rear differential, turning the Quattro into an unstoppable grip machine. It was pure mechanical engineering. No electronics, no computers, just gears, shafts, and brilliant German thinking. It gave the driver complete control. Later, Audi replaced that manual system with a torsion differential that could automatically send up to 75% of the power to the axle with the most traction. It was smoother, faster, and smarter. A technology far ahead of its time. The result was a car that wasn't just fast, it was relentless. It could go from 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds and reach a top speed of around 137 miles per hour. But what made it legendary wasn't straight-line speed. It was how it handled. On curves, in the rain, or on snow, the Quattro just didn't lose traction. When other sports cars spun out, the Audi stayed glued to the road. It felt like driving a car from the future. The Quattro was in production for 11 years, from 1980 to 1991. The early versions were raw, mechanical, and loud, with square lines, wide fenders, and that unmistakable metallic 5-cylinder sound. Over time, Audi refined the car, giving it more power, better equipment, and a touch of luxury. By 1987, the engine had grown to 2.2 liters with 220 horsepower, and the new torsion center differential made its handling even more predictable and stable. In total, about 11,452 units of the original Audi Quattro were built. Not a huge number, which is why it's now such a prized collector's item. The Quattro was expensive from day one. It cost around $25,000 in 1980, which would be roughly $95,000 today adjusted for inflation. It was more expensive than a Porsche 911 SC at the time. But those who drove it immediately understood why. It was fast, safe, and delivered a sense of control that no other sports car could match. Today, depending on condition and originality, a Quattro can sell for between $75,000 and $160,000, and perfectly restored examples have sold for over $200,000 at auction. Visually, the Quattro was unmistakable. The wide arches, the boxy coupe shape, the integrated rear spoiler, and those iconic Ronal alloy wheels gave it a muscular stance. The interior was simple but elegant, sporty seats, a digital dashboard on some versions, and Audi's classic four-spoke steering wheel. Optional extras included air conditioning, a sunroof, and an upgraded sound system. But honestly, the only sound you really wanted to hear was the turbo whistle on every gear shift. As for markets, the Audi Quattro was sold primarily in Europe, but also made its way to places like the UK, Canada, and several Nordic countries. In the United States, however, the original Quattro was never officially sold. Audi offered other all-wheel drive models like the Coupe GT and the 4000 Quattro, but the real turbocharged rally coupe never hit American dealerships. A few examples were privately imported, which makes them extremely rare on US soil. Today, thanks to the 25-year import rule, the Audi Quattro can legally be brought into the US without any issues. Some collectors already own registered examples, and you can occasionally see them at classic car shows or motorsport museums. In Europe, it remains fully road legal, though keeping one in perfect condition requires passion, patience, and money. Many owners treat it like a piece of living history. The Audi Quattro's main rivals were cars like the Porsche 911 SC, the BMW 635 CSI, the Lancia Beta Monte Carlo, and the Renault 5 Turbo. All were brilliant machines, but all were rear-wheel drive. And that's where the Audi had the edge. In rain or snow, nothing could touch it. It wasn't just a sports car. It was a sports car you could trust. In 1984, Audi decided to take things even further and brought the concept to the world of motorsport. That's when the Audi Sport Quattro was born. A shorter, lighter, and even more powerful version built for the Group B Rally Championship. It had a 2.1-liter turbocharged engine with 306 horsepower, a fiberglass and Kevlar body, and a shorter wheelbase for quicker handling. Only 214 units were built, just enough for FIA homologation. It cost around $80,000 in 1984, which would be over $230,000 today. More expensive than a Ferrari at the time, it was quite literally a race car with license plates. And if that wasn't enough, in 1985, Audi unleashed the Sport Quattro S1 E2, a car so extreme it looked like something from another planet. It produced up to 600 horsepower, had massive wings front and rear for downforce, and weighed just 2,400 pounds. It could sprint from 0 to 60 in just 3.1 seconds, even on gravel. Its advanced Quattro drivetrain distributed torque perfectly, giving it insane grip on any surface. Drivers like Walter Röhrl, Michel Mouton, and Hannu Mikkola mastered the beast and made history. The sound was otherworldly, a metallic roar mixed with explosive turbo bangs echoing through the forests. At the 1985 Sanremo Rally, the S1 literally spat flames from the exhaust. It was so wild, people called it uncontrollable. The S1 achieved immortality at the Pikes Peak hill climb in Colorado. In 1987, Walter Röhrl drove his Audi S1 to the summit in a record time of 10 minutes and 48 seconds. The footage of that car flying up the mountain with no guardrails became one of the most iconic moments in motorsport history. Group B was eventually banned in 1986 for being too dangerous, but by then the Quattro's legacy was untouchable. It was the car that changed the rules, the one that forced every manufacturer to develop their own all-wheel drive systems. Without it, we probably wouldn't have legends like the Lancia Delta Integral, the Subaru Impreza WRX, or the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. And now I want to know what you think. Do you like seeing cars like this one with modern modifications, bigger turbos, new wheels, or swapped interiors? Or do you think, like me, that keeping them original is what truly gives them their soul and their value? In my opinion, an untouched Audi Quattro, or at least one restored with period-correct parts, will always be more special than a heavily modified one. It's a piece of history, not just a machine. And modifying one today, unless it's done with incredible taste and respect, might just be a mistake. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you keep it stock, or would you modify it? I'd love to read what you think. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves classic cars as much as you do. Every week, we bring back another legend, one car at a time.